Hello and welcome back to another video. Here I'm making a spring pie. For the ingredients you're going to need potatoes as well as some vegan sausages or protein of your choice. I've also used some mushrooms, carrots, as well as some spring beans, garlic, onion, frozen or fresh peas. Then I've used a handful of fresh parsley, a glass of white wine, some cream, vegan cream of course, some mustard, spices, oregano and thyme, as well as a stock cube. And lastly, I've used a just roll pastry, which you can get at most supermarkets. So start by prepping your vegetables. Chop away into nice big bite-sized pieces. I've started with my root vegetables, so my potatoes as well as my carrots. And that's just because they take the most time to cook, so they'll be going first into the pan. I've tried to make them all even-sized pieces and delicious. Then I've chopped my onion, just dice that into small squares, and then I'll move on to prepping my spring beans and garlic. If you like this video so far, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. It really helps me. So here you can see that I'm just taking the ends off the spring beans and I'll be leaving those whole for this dish. I've used a good 2 handfuls. You can adjust the quantities depending on the size of your baking dish. We made a large portion for Easter today, and now I'm crushing the garlic to loosen the skin. I'm using 4 cloves of garlic here. Once the garlic is crushed, it should be really easy to peel, like so. And you can just chop or mince that later on when you add it to the dish. So I'm making nice big chunks from my mushrooms. I know some people don't like the texture of mushroom, so if they don't, I advise to dice this up very small and it will almost simmer away into the sauce and add a nice flavour. So there are all your chopped vegetables. So I'm adding some vegan butter to a pan because this is a more decadent dish, one for the weekends or for special occasions like Easter or having the family around. And I'm spreading that around the pan before adding in my onions and allowing those to saute along with the other root vegetables, so the potato and the carrot. And I just want to let those saute and soften a little bit for about 5 to 10 minutes. This is going to release a lovely fragrance into the house, and especially with the butteriness, it's really quite special. So at this stage I like to add a generous helping of salt as well as a generous helping of pepper, just to ensure that right from the base the dish is seasoned, and I'm stirring in my salt and pepper while those saute. So I'm leaving it there just for 5 to 10 minutes to soften a little bit. Then I add in my garlic and I mix that in and also let that cook in for a maximum of 5 minutes. You don't want your garlic to burn before adding in the mushrooms, which will release a lot of water and start to create a sauce, as well as my spring beans so that they can start to cook and mix in with the flavors. I've seasoned again at this stage just because of the quantity of vegetables we're using. You just want to make sure that everything is well seasoned, so you can taste and adjust as you go along. And I take the opportunity while those are cooking away to just chop up my vegan sausage. If you're using protein like tofu, you could also chop that up, and I've decided to just brown those off in a pan before adding them into the dish for additional flavour. So as you can see, I've stirred in the vegan sausage after about 10 minutes, And now I'm adding my mustard, my oregano and my thyme to give it a lovely flavour, along with the white wine to help deglaze the pan and create a sauce. Making sure to incorporate that well into all areas before sprinkling in my vegetable stock cube, which again will do immense amounts to adding flavour and depth to this dish. Finally, I'm going to chop up my parsley. I've used about a generous handful, and stir that in. You want to add it in at a later stage so it doesn't just wilt away. And finally, I'll add my cream. I've just used some vegan shop-bought cream. You can also use a cashew cream by blending cashews in water, or add some plant-based milk. Stirred that in, and now I'm going to add my peas. These are frozen, and I'll just stir those in quickly so everything is well incorporated before you're ready to put this in your baking dish. So I started by spooning it out, and once the pan was light enough for me to hold, I've poured the rest of the mixture and spread it evenly across my baking dish. Doesn't that look delicious? I feel like puff pastry is just the springtime pastry. I don't know what it is, but it just makes me feel like it's spring. So I'm layering on this shop-bought stuff. It's way easier to get shop-bought, and it's pretty much just the same. And to glaze it as a bonus, I've just melted some vegan butter, added some smoked paprika, salt and pepper, and brushed that on top of the pastry to make a delicious glaze. This is totally optional, but if you're just going for a little extra specialness, I definitely recommend. Then you can pop this in the oven at 180 degrees for 30 to 40 minutes until the pastry is golden and puffed, as you can see here, and you're ready to serve. You should have a delicious spring, creamy, buttery pie that will just leave you going back for seconds and thirds and fourths. A lovely way to use your spring vegetables and feed the family. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.